I am one of the early adopters of Pilates. I trained in the early 2000s, and I was one of those teachers that was responsible for guiding everyone to core stability and separating the core from the rest of the body, right? We were obsessed with this core of the body and how bringing core stability to this area of the trunk would relieve back pain. Gosh, was I wrong? And how I discovered that that's not the way that our body is designed is through the uh, fascial anatomy, so the research on fascia. And Thomas Myers' Anatomy Trains was my first introduction to a new way of looking at the body. So let me be very clear, there is no separate core in the body. You should never look at strengthening your core. And in fact, the body has a self stabilizing blueprint. Okay, so that's where I am now. But where I want to take you with this practice is to my number one movement that helps you to relieve back pain, strain, stress of any kind. And we're beginning to recognize that our emotional state becomes held in our body as strain, chronic pain, and autoimmune response. So trauma becomes held in the body. And what fascia research is showing us is how that trauma becomes held. Fascia is the organ that unites every biological system in your body, including your nervous system. So, in this practice, we're going to soften the areas of strain and bring our body back into regulation through this practice called the soft body bounce. So, from that soft body bounce, as we ease the strain, we will feel the urge to unwind and pandiculate. So, that is the purpose of the practice. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful, gentle, trauma releasing practice through the body, and it's integrated. So let's begin by actually just taking a little stroll. So, the first part of somatic practice is always to take a moment to pause, to quieten everything down, and to bring your awareness to where you are at in this moment. Just to pay attention and to notice if you are holding any strain, if you can bring your body to a gentle pause, just taking a moment to rest, to resting, taking a moment to pause and rest. Now, how do you bring your body to ease? In SomaSensing, I guide you to check in with your body sensation. You can adjust to where you can find softness in your body. If that means dropping your tailbone, you could do that. And the whole purpose of tuning in is to find the freedom to self adjust. One way is to check in with the back of your body, your mid spine. So, your mid spine, are you holding and straining, or can you just soften and let go? Check in if you're clenching your buttocks or holding in your pelvic floor, is to find softness in your body. And soft fascia, softness, this gel like consistency of your body is what we want. So imagine that your body's filled with a gel. You can see that I'm already starting to bounce, right? Your body's filled with a gel, and then you start to add a little bounce at your knees to soften any areas of the gel that feel a little stuck. So, this soft body bounce is really great for releasing strain, stuckness. It's how we release trauma through the body by releasing the holding patterns of our response to trauma. So patterns are held and areas become stuck and strained, especially if our nervous system is in dysregulation. So just taking a moment to pause and listen inward. How can you shape change and self-adjust? Ah, you might notice a spontaneous breath arising. It's a good sign. It's a sign that your body's coming to recovery. So just, letting go. So having a sense of, I just want to let go. Just letting go. And you might find that as you're bouncing quietly, you'll feel these areas of strain come up, especially around your neck and shoulders. You keep bouncing until you feel this urge to pandiculate. Pandiculation is that blueprint that emerges from our body. It happens when we wake up from sleep or if we've been sitting for a long time. Ah, this motion called pandiculation arises. It's sometimes called a stretch and yawn. It's actually not a stretch and yawn. And you could explore that again if you just come back to the body bounce. A pandiculation will arise. It's an unwinding, getting to those areas. Ah, and it's followed by a sigh. And you'll notice that after you come out of that, you might find that the body wants to sway. And as you're paying attention to the sway, where could you give yourself a little bit more space, ease? Where in your body feels like it's held? Could add a little bounce again. Sometimes what might arise is a spiral motion. You might find your body starts to spiral. And throughout this whole practice, it's really about being in a soft, easeful body, letting go of the strain, letting go. There's no need to hold anything in. Your body is already held. And what gives us discomfort is when there is strain held in our body. So we want to let go of that. And then you might find this urge to unwind and pandiculate. And pandiculation is the body's way of resetting your nervous system. It revitalizes your body's fascia from the inside out. It's a recovery blueprint, and we integrate it with trauma releasing movements. But this one is my number one. You can body bounce anywhere, anytime. Just soften and let go of all that holding, that having to armor up sometimes. When life gets tough, our body comes under strain, right? Be gentle with yourself. Find a